This is an introduction to parental alienation and high conflict cases. Both of these things very often are tied in together and usually appear when one parent is trying to distance the children from you or to cause you personally the maximum harm that they can. And to turn the children against you is going to really hurt. And creating high conflict can ultimately lead in you being distanced from the children anyway. So both of these do fit in together. Now, I'll just briefly explain about myself. I first went to court in 2001 when my ex-wife allowed me 1 hour a month to see the two children that we had. I didn't think that was acceptable, and I went to court entirely on my own against a legal aid barrister. And ultimately, I did get the contact that I was looking for, holidays, everything else, and I have a very good relationship with the children. Now, I then started, because I had been to court before, I was asked if I could be a Mackenzie friend, and I started to assist people back in 2002. And in 2008, I completed a law degree because I was trying to learn more about the subject. And then in 2010, I was called to the bar as a barrister. I continued as a Mackenzie friend, but by this point, I had a lot of background legal information to add to the experience that I had as being a Mackenzie friend. I now lecture in law. I train people. I'm a consultant to 2 solicitors' firms, and I also advise people on their case and how to deal with their case and going through the court process. So the course that I have put together, first of all, looks at the myth of parental alienation. Some people say that it doesn't exist. Some people say that the court don't recognize it. They do recognize it. And yes, it does exist. What you have to do is to get the judge to understand your situation and to apply it to your situation. So many people say this is parental alienation. There are different levels of parental alienation, and you could be at a level that the court would deem as very, very high, or that the court would deem as medium or even low. But it is still harmful to the child, and it is still harmful to your case, and you need the judge to recognize that. And I talk about that and I explain those levels and how you can deal with them. Parental alienation is turning the children against you, and it doesn't have to be a complete blank. It can be difficult behavior. The children could be rude to you when they weren't rude before. But usually, if this happens in real life, you would have had to do something bad to the children. And that is a hinge point that you could identify that either doesn't exist at all or that it does exist, but you've tried to deal with it. But parental alienation is something that the court will recognize as long as you lay it on a plate for them in the right way. You can identify it from your child's behavior or your ex's behavior. Both of those will show you whether it is going on at whatever level it may be going on. And then I will talk about how you can deal with it. And the main thing is to get the judge to recognize it. So you need to bring it to the court's attention. You can mess that up if you don't do it the right way. If you exaggerate something, you lose your credibility. So you need to look at what is happening and report that to the court and get the court on side that this is actually going on in your situation. Now, at the same time, you get high conflict situations, and the court will very often say that these children are caught up in the middle of a high conflict. Now, when that happens, the simple solution for the court is to remove one of those parents. And guess what? It's going to be you, not the parent that the children are living with. So you can't allow it to get to that point. You can't fight fire with fire. It's not going to do you any good. You need to fight fire with some clever behavior. And I talk about this and explain how you can get around a high conflict situation. I talk about how to deal with it. Very often, you do not need to respond to everything that's coming your way. Very often. And looking at both of these situations, the parental alienation and the high conflict, the one person who is going to make a change in your life and your children's life is the judge. It's down to them. They are the one person that you need to influence. Doesn't matter about proving right or wrong to other people. It's the judge that you're dealing with. So you need to present yourself properly to the judge. You can mess up by not presenting yourself properly. Presenting your case. This has to be done very, very carefully and very cleverly in order to get the court to see both of these situations going on in your life and to make a decision that is going to help you. It's too easy for the court to just wash their hands of it and say, oh, well, we'll try this or we'll try that. You need to push it in a certain direction. And I talk about that and the directions that you can take. Because you want the judge to deal with it, he needs some evidence. And you can obtain evidence. It is not difficult at all in a high conflict situation to obtain good, hard evidence that you can use in courts. In fact, I talk about what is evidence as well and the different kinds that are available to you. It's not that difficult. And then I talk about the help available that you can use in court to help you to move forward. Having done one of my courses, you are welcome to ask me questions about your situation, and I will do what I can to answer them. I'm not going to sit on the phone for hours discussing your case, but if you have anything related to this course that you could do with an answer to point you in the right direction and to get you moving in the right way, you can contact me and I will happily help you.